The shadow falls first. It is a thing of impossible speed and utter silence. A fleeting eclipse that blots out the sun for a single, heart-stopping second. On the baked earth below, the clam freezes. Mothers pull their young closer, their hands clamping over small mouths to stifle a cry. Hunters, crouched low in the acacia scrub, become as still as the stones they carry. Every eye turns upward, scanning the vast, merciless blue. This is the first law of their existence. The court truth of their hominid history. The sky is not empty. It is a hunting ground. The great Quetzalcoatlus, the Sky Kings, are always watching. Their passage is the only prayer the clan knows, a silent plea that the shadow keeps moving. Today, it does, but the fear it leaves behind is a physical thing, a cold residue in the air. Kale feels it prickle the skin on his arms. He is young, but his eyes are old with the constant, neck-straining vigilance that defines all early humans in this age. They are a people of the undergrowth, their lives dictated by the paths of giants. They scavenge the kills of all osaurs and outwit the smaller, feathered raptors that stalk the grasslands. But against the death that descends from above, they have no defense. They can only hide and hope. This brutal reality has carved their society into one of cautious, earthbound creatures, their potential chained to the ground by a pterosaur's terrifying silhouette. It is desperation that dropped us Kale into others. Lyra and O's BOR, beyond the familiar scent markers of their territory. The dry season has been long. Their herds have moved on, and the clan's hunger is an gnawing beast. They follow a dry riverbed, a cracked and broken spine in the landscape, its banks offering the illusion of cover. It is Lyra, her gaze missing nothing, who sees it first, not a creature, but a place. White annular head, where the wind groans a low, mournful song. No birds sing there. No insects drone. It is a vortex of silence in a world of constant noise. An instinct, honed over a million years of survival, screams at them to turn back. But Kale points with his crude stone axe. On the cliff edge, bleached white by the sun, lies a bone. It is longer than he is tall, yet it seems impossibly delicate, a fragile lattice of calcified air. They approach with the caution of creatures entering a predator's lair. As they round a towering rock formation, the full vista opens before them, and the air is stolen from their lungs. Below them lies a valley, a basin of bone. Dozens, perhaps hundreds, of the Sky Kings are gathered here, not as living terrors, but as colossal skeletons, rib cages the size of huts half buried in the dust, skulls, with their lance-like, keratin or US beaks, point accusingly at the sky they once owned. Immense wing bones, the very instruments of the clan's fear, lie shattered and broken like fallen trees. It is a graveyard of gods, a place where the sky has come to die. Unprimal terror war within them. All BOR mutters that it is a cursed place, a land of ghosts. But Chaos sees something else. He sees the raw material of a revolution, scattered like seeds on the valley floor. Old BOR spits on the ground, a gesture of warding off evil spirits. He sees only sacrilege, the bones of sky demons that have tormented their human ancestors for generations. To touch them is to invite their wrath. But Kale's gaze is fixed, not on the ghosts of the past, but on the geometry of survival. He sees the long, straight wing finger, the fourth metacarpal, a shaft more perfect than any branch he could ever hope to find. He sees the sharp, shattered ends of a rib cage, points already honed by nature, ignoring BOR's fearful hisses. Kale carefully descends into the valley of fallen gods. The silence is profound, broken only by the crunch of his own feet on bone fragments. He EFTs a section of a wing bone. The shock of it is not its size, but its lack of weight. It feels like petrified air, a contradiction held in his hands. Back at the clan's meager encampment, his obsession begins. The elders forbid him from bringing the cursed sky bones near the central fire. He becomes a pariah, working at the edge of their small society, a solitary figure chipping away at the foundation of their fear. He uses a heavy flint chopper to strike the bone. It doesn't shatter like stone. It splits with a sharp crack, revealing its secret. The inside is a hollow matrix of delicate struts and air sacs. He understands now. The Sky Kings are not magic. They are marvels of engineering. These are pneumatized bones, a design of impossible strength for almost no weight. This is the insight that fuels him, a spark of understanding in the vast darkness of prehistory. He is not merely making a tool. He is reverse engineering a monster. This is the dawn of a new form of osteodontocratic technology, a leap of imagination from a simple club to a complex composite weapon. Days bleed into weeks. Lyra brings him water and scraps of roasted lizard. Her silent support a shield against the clan's scorn. Scavengers, drawn by the scent of old marrow, become a constant menace. Small, fleet-footed raptors dart in from the periphery, forcing him to work with one eye always on the horizon. His hands become a tapestry of cuts and clues. He learns the bone's language, where to strike it, how to flake it, how to use its natural hollowness to his advantage. He takes the longest, straightest section of wing bone he can carry and painstakingly grinds one end into a socket. Then, with deer sinew and sticky pine resin, he affixes a lethally sharp flint point. The result is a weapon unlike any they have ever known. It is longer than a man is tall, yet balanced and light enough to be thrown with incredible force. It is not a spear for thrusting at a cornered boar. It is a bolt of death, designed to fly. It is a piece of the sky, ray forged to kill the sky. The first true spear. As he holds it aloft, its front head gleaming in the dusk, he is no longer just Kale. He is a question posed to the heavens, an answer to the shadow that has haunted his people since the beginning. The attack comes at dawn, as it always does. A pale sun bleeds across the horizon, backlighting the monster as it detaches itself from the cliffs. It is a mature male, a true giant of the Azhdarchid family. Its wings span a terrifying stain against the morning sky. But this time, the clan does not scatter like ants. Kel stands in the center of the clearing, the first of his sky spears held ready. Around him, 5 other hunters, including Lyra, clutch their own bone weapons. The fear is still there, a genetic memory etched into the souls of these ancient humans. But it is now alloyed with something new, a strategy, born of defiance and honed by newly acquired survival skills. This is not a hunt. It is a moment of punctuation in the long, rambling sentence of human evolution. The great pterosaur circles once, its head assessing the strange, defiant posture of the ground apes below. Its shadow washes over them, cold and familiar. Then, with a leathery snap of its wings, it folds into a dive. It descends not as a gliding shadow, but as a living javelin. Its long, Keratinous became to a child who was frozen in terror near the edge of the camp. The beast's long, toothless jaw snaps in anticipation. But the clan's primitive technology is no longer limited to rocks and sharpened sticks. Now, Kel roars, a sound torn from his very soul. The first volley of spears whistles upward. They are clumsy, unaimed, more a statement of intent than a true attack. The Quetzalcoatlus jinks in the air, surprised by the aggression. Its dive momentarily trailed off, but it is Obioa who turns the tide. He, who had called the bones a curse, understands the Sky King's terror better than anyone. He runs into the open, waving his arms, making himself the larger, more immediate threat. It is an act of pure, selfless calculation. The pterosaur, its reptilian brain locking onto the new target, adjusts its trajectory and dives straight for him. This is the moment. Lyra, Kale screams, as Beor throws himself to the ground. Lyra and Kale, their movements now synchronized from weeks of practice, cast their spears. They do not aim for the head or the body, but for the vast, membranous wings. Lyra's spear strikes true. The flint point tears through the delicate pot egg-IUM, in the hollow bone shelf. Light as a feather, stays lodged, unbalancing the creature's flight. Chaos follows a second later, ripping another gash in the opposite wing. The pterosaur lets out a shriek of pain and shock, its elegant dive becoming a clumsy, uncontrolled tumble. It crashes into the earth with a sickening thud, a cloud of dust and broken bones. It is not dead, but it is grounded. It thrashes, its beak snapping wildly. A sky god turned into a broken, terrestrial demon. The rest of the clan, their fear now burned away by a ferocious, unified purpose, descends with stone axes and sharpened rocks. They stand in silence as the last shudders of the great beast seethe. They do not cheer. The victory is too profound, too world-altering for simple celebration. They touch the broken wings, the impossibly light bones that are now the source of their power. They look at the sky, and for the first time, it is just a sky, empty, bare, and no longer a ceiling to their world. This single act of coordinated defiance, this fusion of intelligence and courage, is more than the killing of a predator. It is the seizing of a birthright. In a future age of archaeology, they will find these bones intermingled, the delicate, hollow frame of the Sky King and the denser, heavier bones of the hominids who dared to defy it. And they will wonder at the story they tell, a story of how our ancestors, small and fragile, first looked upon their gods and decided not to worship them, but to hunt them. This is the moment the shadow on the ground begins to shrink, the moment a species, born to hide, learns that the bones of their nightmares can be forged into the weapons of their ascent. For the first time in a million years, they look up not with fear, but with a question, and the sky, for the first time, does not answer. But on the Great Plains, the earth is beginning to shake with a rhythm older and heavier than the beating of any wing.